Now, while today's video might not be the sexiest thing, let's just say this is something that 100% gets me paid and probably keeps me worked the most. And that is hands down gonna be filming and editing interviews.
First one is intelligence.
ECD once a month. Now, specifically in today's video, I'm just going to kind of approach it from a one-man band operation. I recently had a gig down in the Daytona, Florida area. Now, this is a gig I have done, which I guess it would be the second time I've done this, where I'm hired to come in, do some interview, and then I'm gonna edit it up and chop it up into educational content for a 501c3 that I work for. So right off the bat, let's just go ahead and show you guys kind of a little bit of what we're working with here. Now, as far as lighting goes, we just had, for our key light, I have a Jeanray bicolor LED with the Bowens mount, and then I used the aperture. I wanna say that is the dome. It might not be the dome or the globe, whatever, but I use my Jeanray, always do. We've got wall power, you guys are seeing it, and I like it because I have that bicolor temperature capabilities. Now, as far as a glance into the cameras that we're using, you can see that our A cam is the Panasonic Lumix S5iix, and we'll kind of walk over to it here. And you're getting a glance at kind of what the setup is. We have the Canon 24-105 f4 on there. We've got a Tifton Pro mist filter. We've got the Shinobi Atomos Shinobi monitor, Movo WMX2 wireless audio, and then this is even more of a glance of just kind of raw look. I got a lot of gear on the couch. You can see that the coffee table is there, and this is just a look into the setup that was going to be used for our A cam for this particular shoot. You can also see on the monitor there kind of what the shot looks like, and we've got the V mount there. Is it that pretty? No, but it is set up for exactly what I need. And for our B camera, we have the Panasonic Lumix S5. I've got my port keys monitor on there. You can see we've got a cage, we've got a handle, V-mount power. The S5 also, we're rocking the old faithful, do I have it here? Canon Nifty 50 with the Sigma MC21 adapter. I gotta be honest with you, I love the image that comes out of this, and getting kind of a profile cutaway shot with this, shooting at like an f2.8, maybe an f2.2, I love it. As far as onboard audio goes, we have the Movo shotgun mic, and yeah, this is just a glance into that B cam cutaway camera that we're gonna be using for this particular interview style. Now, I love shooting somewhat of a wide, and you can see that with the 24-105, I wanna say I shot like, let's just say roughly 35 millimeters at an f4. We were using manual focus, not autofocus in this particular situation. And then our cutaway cam being the S5, we had the Nifty 50 on there using manual focus, shooting at a roughly like f2.2 or f2.8. As far as profiles go, shooting all log, and I wanna say, Kelvin, I wanna say we were shooting at like 4,500 or maybe 5,000. Now lastly, once I got the cameras all set up, you can actually see Steve is sitting here now, and the last thing that I forgot to mention was that I had him backlit by a little bit of an LED pole that you guys can see up against the wall here. Now really, that's just to give him a little bit of a pop from the back, separate him from the backdrop, but also as we kind of roll into the main shot, you can see that we have the lamp over his shoulder, which is going to give a little bit of separation. And then also one key factor when I was filming this is making sure we did not overexpose the window that is behind Steve. One thing that's nice is that this is the second time around that I've worked with Steve on this type of project, and so we do have a little bit of a workflow, but you can see here just from a glance that we've got the S5X2 getting a beautiful shot. We've got our cutaway camera, we're shooting way down that hallway. We've got our key light on him, making sure that we're kind of bringing him up, and yeah, getting nice separation, and then that cutaway shot just being an added bonus of something that from the viewer standpoint and also from an editing standpoint, if I need to cut away, it's not too distracting. Now, I do want to give one little disclaimer, and this is kind of shame on me, but this happens from time to time, so you got to learn from your mistakes here. But I'll show you some of the clips in regards to the interview. When you are seeing some of the lamps, one thing that I forgot to do, and this happened, so I'm trying to relay this to you guys, is that the bulbs that were in both the cutaway shot and the actual main shot, I don't know, if you go on Amazon and buy certain bulbs, sometimes they will have like a flicker when they're on camera. And what I should have done, and I didn't, and I will moving forward, is you want to take something like an aperture light like this, and instead I should have taken the bulbs out or just turned off the lights and then taken my lights, put it up there and gave it full control and even temperature control. Because I will admit, while I was able to somewhat cover it up by whether scaling in or even doing some little bitty editing tricks, I will say if a true editor was watching some of the interview and really honing in on it, you will see some of the flicker. So that's just one thing that I found with this particular interview. While I was very happy with the end results and you guys are seeing it, audio came out well, I thought the visuals turned out really well, and I know overall the client was very happy with the end product, but that is just one thing to keep in mind. And I think I just got caught up in the process of putting everything together, being in a little bit of a time crunch, and it's just one of those things in real time you forget. But it happens, you gotta learn from your mistakes. But this is a quick little glance into one-man band operation, filming and editing interviews. I know I didn't really break down the editing process, but at the same time, really it's just about the cutaway cameras, it's about getting the audio right, getting the lighting right, putting yourself in a situation when you enter the editing bay that you kind of have all the assets and everything that you need, and then you're just going to kind of piece the puzzle together. And a lot of this stuff should be already pieced together the way that you need it if you've done the correct planning. But I will say this is something that I do probably every 2 months with this particular group and with this particular talent. You guys have seen a little bit of the footage, and if you'd like to see more, you can go visit them on their YouTube page, Center for Renewing America. That's a whole different thing, but it gives you a glance into some of the end products you can come out with, and also both using the Lumix S5iix and the Lumix S5, giving you guys also a glance of what some of the results can be. And then all of the behind the scenes shots were with either the GH5 or the old faithful GH4. And simply put, look, shoot interviews, don't be afraid to do things by yourself. These little types of projects have kept me paid, keep my bills paid, so I want to just give you a behind the scenes glance. It's like, you don't need the biggest, baddest lights, you don't need the biggest, baddest cameras. Even what I have possibly could be argued is overkill.